covering Colorado First and Elevating Latino Voices on CBS News Colorado. I'm Michelle Griego, excited to bring you this special program focused on our diverse Latino community and the people who work really hard to champion our success in this beautiful state we call home. In Colorado, about 12% of the population speaks Spanish. It's the second most popular language in the state after English. But fluency in Spanish wasn't always considered a good thing. In fact, for generations, Latinos were taught it was better to speak English without an accent than to speak Spanish at all. Your reporter in Denver, Jasmine Arenas, shows us the impact of assimilation.
Yeah? In the heart of Denver, Colorado, a rich tapestry of cultures live in each neighborhood.
We grew up with many large families, Hispanic, Irish, Italian. In West Denver, I still live in the same neighborhood that I grew up in.
It was in this neighborhood of West Denver where Rosemary Rodriguez made the best memories.
It was a great time to be a kid.
She grew up living right next to her grandparents. They only spoke Spanish, and though they understood Rosemary's English and vice versa, not learning the language pains her to this day.
It kind of makes me sad that I couldn't really have the fruitful relationship with my Mexican grandmother that I had with my grandmother from Colorado.
Rosemary, like many Coloradans, was brought up in an English-speaking household because her parents wanted her to speak English without an accent.
We learned about discrimination that they experienced, that my mother throughout her life experienced because she had an accent. I think they saw it as a way to protect us from discrimination, even though we're very obviously indigenous looking and Mexican.
Dr. Nikki Gonzalez, a professor at Regis University and Colorado's first Latina historian, says she experienced a similar upbringing. She says speaking Spanish wasn't always positive, dating back to the early 1900s.
I often think about my college experiences, which were on the East Coast, as being a time when my world was shattered, because I had led a pretty sheltered experience.
While her time at Yale University, she learned why she wasn't taught Spanish growing up in Denver. But as a historian in Colorado, she learned the reason behind it all.
I learned more about my own history through other people's stories, pieces of my own history that had not been recorded or told, but people who had similar sort of historical trajectories here in Colorado. And I think especially for young people, I think it was really important for them and empowering for them to be able to have a vessel to tell their stories. And I've always thought that knowing your roots is very empowering.
Learning your roots is empowering. Fast forward to 2024, and you've got Denver Fools.
The Denver Fools? Like, yo, fool. Y'all don't... Yeah.
Brothers Ben and Abe run the popular Denver Foods social media pages. Growing up in English-speaking households, they were culture shocked when they went to other cities like Los Angeles and Las Vegas, being made to feel they weren't Mexican enough for not speaking Spanish.
There's always just this identity crisis back and forth of, am I too Hispanic? Am I not Hispanic enough? It's kind of like, like if you ever seen Selena, it's like, we got to be more American than the Americans and then more Mexican than the Mexicans. We got to work twice as hard.
But through their social media accounts, they're sharing with the world what it means to grow up Latino and Hispanic in Denver.
It's helped us be ourselves and feel comfortable in our own skin. And
now that they're feeling more confident, the brothers are willing to learn Spanish to pass the language and culture along to future generations.
And now things have changed. Across the United States, being bilingual is viewed as an asset. People who speak more than one language earn 5 to 20% more on average than those who do not. Up next, how Latino student enrollment has grown at this urban university and how students benefit from its designation as a Hispanic serving institution. And we'll tell you how one organization has changed the lives of more than 7,000 Coloradans and uplifted the impact of Latinos over the past 75 years. Metropolitan State University has experienced dramatic growth in the registration of Latino students in the past 15 years, going from 13 to 35% of its student body. 5 years ago, the university garnered status as an HSI, or Hispanic Serving Institution. Jasmine Arenas introduces us to a student who epitomizes the success HSI status seeks to achieve.
When you have 5 classes a week, you gotta walk fast.
Juliana Montoya is on track to graduate from Metropolitan State University next spring with a double major in public health and biology. She grew up in Brighton and says she and her peers most definitely notice MSU takes seriously its role as a Hispanic serving institution, or HSI.
We have mentors who reflect the students and are a confident space to really admit, I don't really know what I'm doing. One of my big ones is Samantha Chumacero. She really, I will text her on a dime and be like, I am panicking, I need help, I don't know what to do, and she's right there with me along the way.
Juliana works as a student medical assistant at the university's health clinic. As with many peers at Metro State, it's taken her longer than the traditional 4 years to get here. She's in year 6 and sees the extra time as a positive as she hopes to go to medical school.
So I was offered so many programs. I partnered with Denver Health, so I was shadowing in the emergency room, pediatrics. Those are things I would have never done had I just barreled down in 4 years finished school.
HSI status has helped MSU Denver receive more than $14 million in grants, much of it from the National Science Foundation to help students like Juliana earn a living while getting career experience.
That's where the majority of the funds that we do have is really making sure that we're keeping students on campus, that they're able to work. So again, when they're able to come here, they're able to take classes, they're able to engage, and really working on campus has been successful.
Juliana says she is inspired by the people who got her to this point, including her parents and sister.
We're letting students know that higher education is accessible, and the amazing things that could happen, right, when students are able to take care of themselves and really help elevate their families in the process, right?
And Juliana says she's eager to give back.
And I am trying to pave the way forward for future students like me who don't have to go through the barriers I've had to overcome and just make the path easier.
MSU Denver is the only institution in Colorado to earn a Seal of Excelencia for its service to Latino students. Fewer than 40 institutions across the country hold this certification. The Latin American Educational Foundation, or LAEF, has helped fuel the success of more than 7,000 Coloradans, and this year celebrates 75 years since its founding. And I'm proud to serve on the board of directors for LAEF, and many leaders in the community you might recognize can say they were LAEF scholars. Your Northern Colorado reporter Dylan Thomas introduces us to an LAEF scholar who's studying business, finance, and accounting.
Higher education is a foundation for success for many people. For Armando Maqueda Garcia, he's the first in his family to attend college.
I'm really honored to be here at Colorado State University.
Armando, a senior at CSU, is the son of immigrants.
They left Mexico as teenagers, and for me to be able to graduate from a 4-year institution really goes to show that their hard work has paid off.
But focusing on his studies wouldn't have been as easy without the help of LAEF, or the Latin American Educational Foundation Scholarship.
I got it right out of high school. I've just been really grateful for the system and the support that it's provided me.
LAEF has helped produce many successful stories here in Colorado.
Erica Bailan is a system software engineer. Olivia Mendoza is a lawyer successfully bringing cases before the highest court in our country. Jesus Quintana Martinez is leading community engagement efforts for one of the nation's largest nonprofit theater organizations, the Denver Center for the Performing Arts.
And those same people now help inspire students like Armando.
One of my favorite events has been going to the Latin American Educational Foundation Gala in March, where I'm able to network with professionals who are Latinx.
This scholarship and the associated opportunities wouldn't be possible without the vision of generations prior. Folks like Val and Vanji Sena.
The money-making mechanisms that we had was just a dance in the fall and a breakfast in the spring.
Armando hasn't even graduated yet, but has already received job offers. He says his family is proud to see the man he has become.
Us as Latinos, we want to strive to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And I hope I can further inspire other family members in my family to continue pursuing higher education. They're just really excited to see me graduate. I'm over here forming a legacy.
A report last year found segregation was pervasive in Denver public schools, 50 years after the U.S. Supreme Court ordered DPS to desegregate. We sat down with a woman charged with developing solutions to ensure Latino students' success. The La Raza report commissioned by the Latino Education Coalition found that half of all Latino students in the district today are attending schools segregated by poverty, and that segregated schools also had lower achievement. Dr. Patricia Urrieta is focused on expanding initiatives like the Seal of Biliteracy, a credential given to students who have attained proficiency in 2 languages.
I knew both languages. I have no idea which one I learned first. I really truly learned them both at the same time. I am a product of DPS. My experience in DPS is more than 50 years.
And over those decades as a student, teacher, and principal, Urrieta says she's attuned to what excellence looks like and how it should be accessible to every student in every neighborhood across Denver. Just ahead, learn about the impact of an organization committed to building wealth in communities of color, and meet the remarkable entrepreneur behind what may be the Front Range's most popular breakfast burritos. That and more coming up. Entrepreneurship has always been the path to success in this country. So, a food tasting event at the National Western Events Center sought to help budding small businesses connect to big opportunities. The Center for Community Wealth Building invited anchor institutions such as cities, colleges, hospitals, and museums to taste samples and get to know local food vendors. The goal is to build relationships and trust so large contracts can help support local businesses as well as local hiring and investments. Michael Spencer introduces us to one food entrepreneur already reaping the awards of this approach.
Alejandro Flores Munoz loves sharing the delicious flavors of real Mexican street food. Cooking up ingredients for tacos he's confident you'll crave. And increasingly, Flores Munoz and his team are cooking for larger and larger crowds and signing 6-figure catering contracts.
I aspire to be able to showcase that entrepreneurship is a viable option for folks to build generational wealth in this country.
One of the things that I learned,
Flores Munoz now guides other small business owners on TikTok.
Another thing I would have done early on is making sure that I have multiple concepts.
He credits connections he's made to contracts with institutions like Meow Wolf or the City of Denver, and the guidance that he's received from the Center for Community Wealth Building.
I don't have to just rely on my food truck, that there are institutions that have events, meetings, galas all the time, and why not us be the caterers for those events rather than the big corporations that we all know of.
Jessica Olguin founded the center, and she spent the last several years working to convince large institutions around Denver to break the mold by giving minority businesses a chance.
This is not about charity. This is about doing business, and just doing business in a different way that actually focuses on our local businesses and ensuring that we're supporting them.
For Olguin, the greatest satisfaction is seeing business people like Flores Munoz win bigger contracts, hire new staff, or acquire property.
Because I think all of these institutions have our community's well-being in mind. It's just how do we align that sense of mission with the business operations.
Olguin says the talent is here, and when business people like Flores Munoz are given a shot, magic happens. And she hopes the local community starts to build wealth.
Having wealth does not just mean having money. It means having time to spend with your kids. It means being able to grow up in a community that is working for everyone.
And Flores Munoz adds it compels him to engage in the community and pay it forward.
Another business owner here in Colorado focused on paying it forward has seen tremendous success. And chances are you've probably had one of her breakfast burritos.
Todo bien, bien.
Todo bien, bien.
La neta.
Santiago's owner, Carmen Morales, greets customers, some who have come here for decades.
All of it's delicious. I mean, I can't keep this curly figure up for nothing. Like coming in here.
This is just one of 30 Santiago's restaurants in Colorado, from Sterling to Castle Rock. Morales opened her first Santiago's in 1991 in Brighton, her hometown.
I would run into a lot of family and friends that did not have a job. And since I believe I'm a motivator, I said, they'll work for me. So I opened up the restaurant to put everybody to work.
Working full-time for the state at the time and raising 3 daughters, Morales put her faith into her new business, even naming it after St. James.
I'm not egotistical, so I don't want my name on that, you know. So I thought, but I need all the help I could get, because when you start a new business, You never know. I named it after a saint. Over here are the 60-quart pots that we use to make our chili.
It's her mother's green chili recipe that she would make for her father 3 times a day that's become so popular with customers. Is it a secret?
Yeah. I can't give it out because you know the saying, then I have to kill you.
But she did share that fresh ingredients are key, something she's appreciated since she was a kid.
I was a little bit spoiled, not too much. So I hated leftover food. I would complain and moan and groan that it tastes like everything in the refrigerator. So when I opened up the restaurant, I said, everything fresh. Everything has to be fresh every day.
And it's been a success.
Success is anything that you accomplish, that you set out to do, and you succeeded. That's what counts. Whether how small or how big, that's success. And you don't give up.
Something she shared with her family and employees, helping 5 of her original workers get a loan to have their own Santiago's restaurant.
I told them, you know what? I'm going to help you have a Santiago's, but you're going to help me so the day that I retire, I don't have to live off Social Security. Since I had the means, I said, why not share it? And it was a blessing in the end.
Still ahead, the special relationship our streaming executive producer has with the Colorado Rockies star, Vinny Castilla. And you'll meet the fan fueling a growing passion for the Denver Broncos in Mexico. Coors Field is such a beautiful ballpark to take in the Colorado Rockies, and one Colorado Rocky is an original Blake Street Bomber and the most accomplished Mexican-born baseball player in the major leagues. Of course, we're talking about Vinny Castilla. CBS News Colorado's Dago Cordova, executive producer of our streaming service, shares a special story with a childhood hero.
When I was 10 years old, I became a baseball fan, and I was curious to learn about players who looked like me, Mexican players in the majors. My search led me to the Colorado Rockies and Vinny Castilla.
What does representation, why does it matter in this game?
When you come as a Latino guy or Mexican player coming to a new country, a new culture, a new environment, it's hard, it's very hard because you speak a different language. And you miss your people.
Vinny hasn't forgotten the struggle that came with chasing his big league dreams.
That's nice to have that culture and the fans that appreciate what we do, because it's not easy, man, to come here and have a good career here at the highest level in baseball. Feel that support from you guys, that's big from us, for us. You guys care about us and support us and here in USA. That's big for us.
Coming to Colorado was the best thing that happened to Vinny.
When they give me the opportunity, I just take off, man, and work hard and never satisfy what I was doing. Keep getting better and better in baseball and as a person too.
To any Mexican or Latino little kid that's watching right now, what advice do you have for them?
One thing it helped me a lot is don't worry about what something is out of my hands. Worry about what I can control and believe in myself.
Castilla and his family love to call Colorado home, and he loves Rockies fans. Vinny remembers their outpouring of support during the 1998 All-Star Game at Coors Field.
I was competing in the home run derby. That standing ovation the fans gave me, I still got goosebumps because that was unbelievable, man, unbelievable feeling, man. And I never forget that.
Castilla has seen Colorado change over 30 years and the Latino population here grow.
I know for a lot of families, they come in here and work hard and try to have a better life for the families and chase the American dream. Man.
Castilla is still adored and continues to play an important role with the Rockies. He threw out the first pitch when the Rockies played in Mexico City this year. He manages a team in Mexico in the Winter League and is excited to see the game's popularity grow after Mexico's strong showing in the World Baseball Classic.
I think the success we have in that Classic is a lot more kids want to play baseball.
Now from baseball to football, they are the biggest fan base for the Denver Broncos outside of Colorado. I'm talking about fans all the way in Mexico. Michael Spencer introduces us to Juan Olivares, who lives far from the Mile High City in Mexico City, but rivals the most iconic fans here in Broncos country for bleeding orange and blue.
I started to support the team since I was 10 years old.
Juan Olivares cannot imagine supporting any other team. In a country where soccer dominates, his family is puzzled by his love for the Denver Broncos.
They struggle a lot in order to understand how I like this sport.
Olivares' enthusiasm has fueled the growth of a fan club in Mexico. They gather regularly and number in the hundreds.
We support the team day by day, year by year, with hope of a winning season. I am part of a generation that saw the Broncos losing Super Bowls, and that doesn't matter for us. We always have hope.
For Olivares, American football is the most interesting sport.
It's spectacular, and at the same time, is the most tactic sport between other sports.
The Denver Broncos sent him to Super Bowl 57 when he was named Fan of the Year.
Broncos is part of my life. Broncos is part of me, part of my soul, part of my heart. I want to rest in peace with the Broncos and orange jersey.
Just up the street from here on Denver's north side, customers can't get enough of the colorful piñatas at La Fiesta Party Store. The store specializes in creating and selling these decorations that bring joy to people of all ages. From princesses and superheroes to political figures and gender reveal piñatas, the classic donkey remains the most popular. The party store sells all the traditional Mexican candy to stuff the piñatas and the blindfolds and sticks to break them apart. Colorful paper sculptures for all of life's special occasions. We are proud at CBS News Colorado of our commitment to elevating Latino voices all throughout the year. And we want to hear from you. Please reach out and tell us your stories. I'm Michelle Griego. Thanks so much for joining us.